Welcome back to Riding Bikes in San Diego. This is University from about 70th West. I mentioned it yesterday in the video where we were riding on Baltimore that the bike lanes exist on University pretty much in La Mesa, but once you get into San Diego, it is rough. This is what it is once you get over into the San Diego line. There's a gutter, which is like not even a bike gutter. It's just like a little painted shoulder to keep people out of the storm drains, and then parking picks up. And here we are. There is a gigantic YMCA off to the left of where I am. Like, one would think people want to get there. And maybe not use a car, but there is also a gigantic parking lot as well as street parking. I wonder if that street parking might go away as the University Bikeway project comes into focus. And, well, we're riding along. I could show this to you. This is what the proposal is, and I'll link to this PDF in the description, but you can see that that blue line goes from 70th all the way back up into City Heights. And that's a good distance. I kind of wish it was on El Cajon Boulevard, but I'll link to that PDF and you can read it yourself. But it does say that the project features include separated bikeways, buffered bike lanes, high visibility treatments, and protected intersections designed to make the streets more pleasant for everyone, people who walk, bike, drive, and take transit. So, high hopes. That would be just lovely. I am blowing this red light. I'm looking and going because this is a pretty high speed road and I don't want to wait at a red light, have drivers collect behind me, and then be impatient when I can't go as fast as them. This is one of the hazards of a large street like this that doesn't have a bike lane. And people might be asking, why are you taking this road? Why aren't you just taking a different road? Folks, the typography here, there are not alternative routes. There are like little neighborhood streets, but it's really not safer to ask somebody on a bike to weave around the neighborhood. Also, we are at like a low elevation. There are hills on either side of us, and the streets are not, necessarily contiguous. We have a lot of hills and climbs and drops in San Diego. And it's something that, we need to be aware of. It's something that really limits our ability to get places, which is why we need safety on the few routes we have. The space that we're driving through right now, or riding on, that other people are driving through, the only other road that's parallel that is going the same stretch is El Cajon Boulevard. And there's nothing up there either. Even when they finish this University Bikeway project, it helps me when I happen to be down here, but on my regular commute, it's not reasonable to ask somebody to ride from El Cajon Boulevard all the way down to University and then climb back up something like 70th to get back to El Cajon Boulevard. It adds a couple miles to the commute, and when people are already moving slower because they're biking, you can't really ask them to do that. So, and I'm going to feel for the drivers too. I mean, the people down here on University, to the south they have the 94, to the north is the 8, but there is a good distance between those, so I understand why this high-speed road is here. A bike lane does pick up at this point, and I wanted to show you this because it gets kind of funny. I got confused. I didn't realize, I was having a hard time figuring out if the bike lane is on the inside or the outside. It seems like the shoulder is there because it's messed up, but the paint gets wacky, and I really want to show you what happens in just a block or two because it's pretty comical. It's almost like the city decided, since there was no bike lane before this, we're gonna put in a absurdly comically huge bike lane after it. So for a block we have this gigantic buffered area. And I have to wonder about this. I haven't looked into the history of this. As long as I've been riding in San Diego, this has been here. But I feel like something was planned and then they just kind of stopped with the paint and this gigantic buffer. I will say I do feel safe when I'm riding my bike here. It's not protection, it's just paint, but that is a lot of paint. That is a gigantic band of paint. And I'm pretty sure somebody's still going to chime in on the comments and criticize me for riding to the left of the bike lane. But debris does collect the closer you get to the curb. It's graded so that, it's lower over there. And that's the situation. I mean, this is huge. You're going to tell me, I'll bet $1 right now that when they do this project, this section will be protected. Because if you're going to tell me that the space is not here for a protected bike lane, I don't know what to tell you. So it does balance back out a little bit up here. And I just wanted to take you along. I know that this video is long. We're getting into like 6 minutes. We're probably going to go a little over 8. But I'm going to stop here and I'm going to sit at this light for a second. And when it turns green, I'm staying put because I'm going to cut over to the left. Also, there's a bus in front of me that I don't want to compete with. But I need to get over to the left. If I were to stay on University, what I'm trying to do is get to 54th. And I could stay on University and go to 54th, but the intersection up there is kind of a mess. It's not made for me to easily make a left-hand turn. It's a lot easier for me to negotiate this, wait till it gets quiet, cut on over to the left, and then I can pick up this road, which is Chollas Pkwy. And it just a little, it cuts maybe a couple blocks off of what I would do if I was going down to 54th, but it's a pretty low traffic road, and I mean, if you ask me, there's room for a bike lane here too. But why would we need a bike lane here? It's because people use this road to get places. We'll do 54th most likely tomorrow, just because it's the next part that I have recorded. But this is like kind of this industrial wasteland stretch. There's a lot of tractor trailers pulled over. There are some people hiking off to the left. There's all this gravel lot stuff off to the right. And I mean, the nice thing is that on this ride, even though there's really subpar infrastructure on a lot of it, nobody's harassing me. It seems that the understanding is that there's enough room for everyone. I'm also taking steps to make it safer for myself. Like I am, jumping the red when the opportunity is there, when it's safe to do so. I'm doing my best to stay out of the way of drivers, and there's plenty of room for all of us with another lane. We are now approaching 54th, and one of the reasons why a road like the ones we were just on needs a bike lane is because we're arriving to a bike lane. The people who live in this neighborhood to the south might want to bike east, and they should be able to do so safely, and hopefully they will by driving less and riding a bike. Thanks.